One, two, three, in the place to be. It's your player partner from the bottom of the map. This your dog Israel, and just wanted to do a quick recap video. And we'll get in depth a little bit later. Miami goes to Doak Campbell. They lose 27-20. They put up a valiant effort against Florida State. I thought it was going to be a blowout, but it wasn't. Start Emory Williams, which we all have been calling for. He puts up a valiant effort. He plays pretty well. The numbers aren't that great. He's 8 for 23, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So, um, you know, no turnovers. So that's a great thing. Um, he didn't look, completely uncomfortable back there. Our running game was decent. Don Chaney had 12 carries for 85 yards, 7.1 yards a carry. We ended up a total of 131 yards rushing. Um, Jordan Travis only had 265 yards passing, and Florida State only had 57 yards rushing. So when you look at those numbers, you would either say we had a chance to win the game, which we did. There were some calls that went against us. Obviously, this is the second time, and I feel like they need to appeal to the ACC or the NCAA about these safeties that have been clear safeties that we haven't been getting called our way, um, because that was a momentum changing play. We would have went up 9-7, and they would have kicked the ball back to us, and we would have had a chance to go down and score before halftime. So that was another play that was very critical. That didn't go our way. I think the officiating was pretty bad on both sides, but that was a very critical play. But for the most part, our defense played pretty well. Our defense have been playing well all season. I want to shout out Maui Noga. At the beginning of the year, I kind of was on him, but these past couple of games, he's been stepping up. He's been in the backfield a lot. He's been making a lot of tackles. He's been making a lot of plays. So definitely want to give defensive line played pretty well. Our defensive line, it wasn't dominant. Like I said, it wasn't dominant. Like I say, in the backfield all night times. Let me see exactly what our Maui Noga had two sacks. Basaint had a sack. Um, we had a couple tackle for losses. So, the our team was in the backfield, and the thing that had been kind of plaguing us all year is quarterbacks breaking contain. Jordan Travis really didn't break contain. He got loose a couple times, but he didn't really break contain and make some of those, big gashing or game changing plays. Their receivers, they had a pretty good game. I'm not going to say we shut them down, but by their standards, it was pretty pedestrian. I know Travis, not Travis, Johnny Wilson had 5 catches for 82 yards, which is decent, and then Coleman had the touchdown. So um, overall, I would say our team played pretty solid. Not a bunch of penalties, no turnovers. So for Emory Williams to get back there the first game, everything around him, as far as team wise, our offensive line played pretty well. They kept him clean for the most part of the night. Florida State, in the second half, was sending blitzes every play, and he at least had the opportunity to make throws. I've seen, the likes of Spencer, um, Spencer Rattler at South Carolina, Shador Sanders at Colorado, offensive line. I mean, they're getting hit every single play. Emory Williams, he stood up. He was able to make plays in a clean pocket for, majority of part of the night. He got sacked a couple times, but it wasn't like that he was getting hit every play. Now, like I've been saying all season, the big issue has been our play calling. Play calling has been the issue. Um, in the first quarter, no yards. And what you expect to kind of figure out what can Emory Williams do, what's the defense going to be throwing at him, kind of get him in good position. Second quarter, they found something with the running game. Don Chaney got off, and they were kind of sticking to it. They got a pass off to Jacoby George. Um, so it looks like our play calling in the second quarter starting to mix it up, starting to give different looks. The run game was opening up the pass game a little bit. Um, but what happened, like all good coaches do, they go in halftime to make adjustments. And it looks like at halftime, Florida State came out like, we're not going to let the ground game Miami beat us. Don Chaney's getting 7, 8 yards per carry, and we rather the game be in Emory Williams' hands. If he makes the throws and he decides the game, we'll see. We want him to prove he can go out there and win it with his arm. Um, so they started stacking the box and sending blitzes like almost every play. And instead of, the chess match of, okay, they made an adjustment, we have to adjust to their adjustments, we kind of just did the same thing. You didn't see any of the play call change. You didn't see any of you didn't see the adjustments being made by Mario and Shannon Dawson to counter Florida State's aggression. They're sending, whoever they could every play. They're sending corners. They're sending linebackers. They're sending everything, every play, um, trying to, get into Emory Williams' head. First time starting, hostile environment, get into his head, give him different looks, see if he can read these coverages. And, I felt like Shannon Dawson and Mario in the second half didn't do him any favors. We're still running, after we get the onside kick, we get it down, into the red zone. And instead of coming up with plays to kind of, give ourselves an opportunity, we're still running out of the shotgun on 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, which everybody knows is coming right up the middle, and it gets stuffed every single time. It got stuffed a couple times tonight. Um, excuse me, but they started jumping all those tunnel screens. I mean, I'm not a coach, right? Just a fan, watch every game, and just pay attention to the tendencies. Everybody knows Miami is going to throw bubble screens, tunnel screens, but they're not throwing screens to the running back. They're not throwing screens to the tight end. So Emory Williams is not pushing the ball downfield. That one pass he got into Jacoby George, we all know that was luck, and I think that was kind of, a decision that was made before the ball was snapped, because he took 2 steps, he stepped back into his drop and just slung it, and it just fit in there, and Jacoby George took it to the house. And sometimes you need luck like that, but what I'm saying is, Emory Williams, he's your quarterback, right? True, he's a true freshman. He doesn't have a lot of experience, but he's been there. He's been there through training camp. He's been there through summer. He's been on the team. He knows the playbook. If he's your quarterback, he's not your quarterback because TVD got hurt. He's your quarterback because you needed to bench TVD and he's the guy. If he's not the guy, then why is he, the backup quarterback? If he's just, a lot of true freshmen quarterbacks, they're wearing a baseball hat to the back with a clipboard. But you decided to make him your guy. He's the backup guy. Emory Williams not playing well. I mean, TVD not playing well. You put Emory Williams in the game. And I'm expecting the playbook to be just the same. Like, scaling back and babying him isn't helping. If we're gonna lose, like, open the playbook up and lose. Don't scale the playbook back to where you're trying to make it optimal for him, but you're just playing into the defense's hand. The defense is just like, they're just feasting on all these short passes, these screens, these 5 yard um kind of like dig routes, curl routes that everybody knows is coming, or these 5 yard slants that everybody knows is coming. They're jumping them, or if they catch the ball, they're only catching the ball for a 3 yard, reception, 4 yard reception. So, we'll get, more in depth into it later and break the game down more. But let me know what you think. Let me know, Emory Williams got hurt. Hopefully, it did look like it was going to be serious. So it looked like we're going back to TVD. He got in the game at the end, and I was kind of hoping that, he could muster up something. But I do think the play calling didn't help him either because they went, three back shoulder throws in a row to, Kobe Young. And, like it worked a couple times, but like now they know it's coming. You've kind of tipped your hat on what you're going to do. Um, you're running the ball. I don't know why we're running the ball. We only got, a minute and 23 seconds left. But, you know, let me know what you thought. What you thought about Emory Williams. What you thought about the play calling? Did it help Emory Williams? Do you think that it was good to kind of, baby him along and get him comfortable with, getting into the pace of the game, into the speed of the game. It's a rivalry game. Crowd is tough. It's loud. Um, or do you think like how I think like they should have just went out there and he's a smart kid. He's a good quarterback. You know, give it to him. See if he can handle it. See if he can handle it. I seen a couple plays where I seen his head turn three or four, like he's going through his read progressions. I like that. I seen a couple times where he went through a couple reads and he took off, got a first down, put his head down. I like that when he missed the throw, he was pissed off. He knew that, and sometimes with players, you gotta catch your rhythm, you gotta catch your feel, and sometimes with catching your feel, it's like let me play the game. I'm a baller. Let me go ball. Don't baby me. Don't handcuff me. Let me go do what I do. I'll get into it. I may make a couple mistakes here and there, but once you make a couple throws, you start seeing it. You start seeing what the defense is looking like, and he's gonna make mistakes, but let him make the mistakes. You guys are like the coaching staff is trying to do this, this safety net to where like we're not gonna put him in a position to make any mistakes. So we're just gonna throw 3 yard passes and we're gonna run this vanilla running attack. Because like I said, it was working in the second quarter, and then the second half they shut it down because they put an 8 men in the box. And they're just playing and they know that we're not throwing anything deep. So they're not worried about anything getting behind them. And if anything gets in front of them, they'll take it. But it wasn't happening. So overall, I was expecting a blowout. So but I did say, if you go back and look, I said Miami will. The players are going to play. They're not going to embarrass themselves. So I give it to the players. I give it to the defense. I like our defensive line rotation. I like seeing Lichtenstein out there. I like seeing Harrison Hunt. I like seeing Jafari Harvey. I like seeing those guys like keeping Jordan Travis and contain. Um, Leonard Taylor, Bain, Dean. I like seeing all those guys out there and really just holding up. Benson didn't really get off. He got off on, a couple runs, but for the most part, they held him in check. Till Philly, they held him in check. The Russia game didn't have a significant impact. There was, a big touchdown run. We'll get into that later. Um, with Cam Kitchens and James Williams because I got a bone to pick with both of them. But for the most part, even with our corners, because Porter didn't play, um, so with our corners kind of holding up pretty well against two top notch prime time receivers. Um, but jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about is Emory could Emory Williams be the quarterback of the future? Or depending on what his injury says, is however long he's out, we don't know. Is he a quarterback that we looking to going into next year, or do we need to hit the draft, hit the portal, or do we need to be hitting recruiting hard for a quarterback? But I like Emory. I like some of the stuff he shows. He has a nice arm. He can spin it. I think he's a smart kid. I like his aggression. I like that he wants to perform. Right, he's just not out there. He makes a throw, and he kind of. I likes that when he missed the throw to Restrepo. He was mad, and he's going to say, "Hey, that's on me. That's on me." Like he wants to perform well, which I like because that says that when he goes out there, when he's practicing, he's putting in preparation. He's really probably going to be paying attention to detail because he wants to perform well, which I really like. Um, but yeah, man, sad that we didn't come away with the win, but put a pretty good effort against a Florida State team that's supposed to be, we're supposed to be severely outmatched against. Um, but yeah, like I said, man, go ahead, like, share, subscribe, comment, and let us know what you think. Once again, it's your dog Israel from the bottom of the map, and I'm gone.